need of before you even ask. So God, if you say that, then why do you say ask and it shall be given? I think that there's something that bonds the blessings of God to you in your life. The scripture says a threefold cord is not easily broken. Will y'all entertain me and my folly? What if your praise and your worship attach yourself to God? Tell somebody a threefold cord. So if I feel like I'm slipping, then my praise and my worship keeps me connected. Sometimes I may not feel like praising, but if I know that I have an obligation to worship, I go and worship until my praise. So my praise kick in. Y'all hear me? So then if I'm connected like that, tell somebody when the children eat, I'm going to eat. You say, what do you mean by that? What do you mean when the children eat, I'm going to eat? I've never been at someone's house and they fed their children, and if I was there with their children, I ate what they ate. You got to be a mighty poor parent. God says that if you know how to give your children good gifts, tell somebody I'm connected. It's already in your plan. It's already in your plan. But if you don't become radical, if you don't get to where you are determined that you are going to serve God in spite of, if you don't get to the point to where the world is treating you like a dog, and y'all don't mind if I get real? It even feels like God's treating me like a dog. There was one lady that understood. Jesus called her a dog. She said it ain't neat to give the children bread to the dog. I can see her spirit leaping and said, glory be to God. I got his attention because he's talking to me. God, I don't care what you call me. I don't care because I know if it's your dog, it's a royal dog. Y'all ain't gonna let me preach. She said, so glad you called me a dog. She said, because I happen to know something about dogs and their owners. So if you calling me a dog, I'm going to make myself your dog. She said, even the children give the dog the crumbs that fall from the table. Jesus said, what did you say? She said, I'm your dog. Oh, hallelujah. Some of y'all been worse for some folk and they haven't given you anything. You've been worse. They didn't treat you as good as they treated their dog. God, if you want to call me a dog, let me be your dog. And look what happened. See, that became a part of her worship. Her praise was going to be waiting on her at the house. But as she worshiped and allowed God to go in and out of her life and allowed God, she became transparent to him. Because see, I didn't come looking for a status. I didn't come for you to make me or give me a title. I just came to worship you because you got something I need. If your Bible reads like mine, she got what she needed because of how she worshiped. Change your worship, you're going to change your outcome. Change your worship, you'll change the outcome. Y'all don't believe me? I can give you proof. Change your worship, and you will change the outcome. Your worship will be found in the obedience that you render toward God. God told the children of Israel, I'm going to preach in a minute. This ain't costing you nothing. He brought them into a land of promise, and he said, now here's what I want you to do. Because your obedience is going to be better than your sacrifice. And if you be obedient, you'll eat the good of the land. He said, when you cross over into your promise, and I want somebody to hear this, when you cross over into next year, it ain't going to be what you say, it's what you do. You did a lot of talking in your wilderness, but now it's time to become obedient. When they crossed over their Jordan, what God did, he told them, I want you to walk around Jericho and don't say nothing. So if you come into church and your neighbor asks you why you ain't wanting to talk with them, tell them I'm walking around the Jericho. Because I got to get this wall down this year. Something has to change this year. So they were obedient. The priest carried the ark, which represented the presence of God before them, and they circled Jericho. God gave specific instructions. See, this is the thing that we've learned and to do what's wrong in church. Everybody want to do it their own way. I'm wrong. You can't tell me what to do. Well, I can assure you that if you won't follow the ark, if you won't do it the way God said, you're probably not going to end up where he intended. I can take some folks a new way home and they lost. But we grown and we know everything. We can't even get to our house a different way. But we know everything about heaven, and we know everything about God's plan for our lives. He says that how can you hear without a preacher? The children of Israel, they walked around Jericho. Jericho is a massive wall, it's a massive place. I'm sure that the spies had already told them that, I'll tell you how big it is, but I don't want you to be discouraged, because you know that's how we ended up where we are now, because when you got the report, you didn't want to act on the report because you allowed the report to be bigger than your God. Some of y'all have gotten reports, and the enemy he intended for you to see the wall. He intended for you to see how big it is. He intended for you to become fearful. God said, I didn't give you a spirit of fear. Years ago, about 40 years prior, they were kept out of their promise because they listened to the wrong thing. They listened to their fears rather than listening to God. They listened to their fears rather than listening to God. If you check back over your life, you'll see that there are some things that have not been accomplished in your life because you listened to your fears rather than listen to God. And it calls you to stay in a wandering wilderness position. Tell somebody, until today. This is the day. Something's going to change. Something's going to be different. The children of Israel, after Joshua had received his elevation and instructions from God, he said, Joshua, you're the preacher. You're the one that's going to lead them in. I don't want you to meditate on anything that the spies come back and say. But I want you to keep my word before you day and night. I want you to keep it before you when you can see what you are doing. And I want you to keep it before you at night when you can't see where you're going. Because the Bible tells me that his word will be a lamp to my feet and it will be a light unto my path. As long as I can put my foot down and I can feel the word under my foot, I don't have to see where I'm going. He told the disciples, he said, lay down your cross, follow me. Where we going, God? Follow me. Follow me. So here are the children of Israel on the wrong side of the promise with a humongous wall that's like the gatekeeper. Before they can go any farther, they got to go through the wall. God said, take my instructions. I want you to just walk around the walls. There was a promise that God had put in their DNA that came from their father Abraham. He told Abraham that wherever the soles of your, not what you say out of your mouth, but wherever the soles. There's some stuff you got to walk right into. He said to them, he said, whatever the soles of your feet shall tread. He said, that's what I'm going to give to you. Some of y'all have refused to walk in places because it's been too dark for you. Let that word become your light. He said, I want you to walk around. I guess y'all probably figured out by now because I have. God didn't change my message. When they got into the promise, I want you to see this. Have you ever wondered that once they went and walked around the walls, then what did they do? Where did they go? Where did they stay? Some people will camp right outside their promise. You'll camp right outside of what God is getting ready to do in your life. And the efforts that you put in yesterday, all that walking that you did yesterday, didn't change a thing to your natural eyes. Nothing changed. But here's God. I want you to walk another day. I want you to hold the same position, and I want you to do the same thing that you did yesterday, and don't say nothing. Sometimes we have that spirit of urgency or being anxious. And the word of God says, don't be anxious. So you walked around it another day. You look over your shoulder and it still looks the same way it did. God, you treat me like a dog. You just whistling and I'm coming. You sicking me and I'm going. But I'm God's dog. He said, don't bark. You know, anybody ever had a dog and you just hate a noisy barking dog? I want you to bark when there's something for real happening. Tell your neighbor, hold on to your bark. Same thing. Here's what's God teaching them something in their walking. He's teaching them how to be obedient. And your obedience is a part of your worship. What it means, God, is I don't see anything happening, but I'm willing to trust you with all of me. I'm willing to become exhausted, and I don't see nothing. I know he made things a little bit harder, because as soon as he walked me over that Jordan into my promise, he took my food stamps. The Bible said the manna ceased. It got a little harder. How in the world is it supposed to get better when it just got a little harder? Tell your neighbor, shh. Just worship. Just walk. Just walk. There's the steps of a righteous man. They order by God. You shall walk by faith. You got to learn to see the wall, but don't see the wall. All the wall is doing for me is giving me a perimeter to walk around, but I don't see you as being a barrier. Listen. I preached a sermon years ago. Some of y'all may have been in the ministry. Some of you weren't, so I won't bring you up to date. The title of that sermon was Walls and Giants Do Fall. Walls and giants do fall. 3 days, God. 3 days. We have walked. For some of you, your 3 days have been 3 years. That you have walked around that wall and nothing's happened. The enemy will always send you a sandballot. To discourage you in your walk. Child, you've been going to church all these years, and I don't know why you waste your time, because it don't look like to me that nothing changed. Your walls are still as big as they were when I met you, or ever since I've known you. See, we look to people for our help. We look to people for our counsel. But David latched on to something. He said, I'm going to look to the hills. Perhaps if I look to the hills, I see over my wall. Because the hills are taller than my walls. If my God lives in the hills, and 4 days and going back home, and I want to grumble, but in my worship I've learned to hold my tongue. I've learned to be obedient, because I've been doing this now, and it's going to be a habit to me to just walk and don't talk, to just believe God anyhow. I'm just following. See, sometimes you just got to follow the person in front of you if they're following God. Where we going? I don't know. We just following God. Well, who are you following? Paul said, be a follower of me as I follow Christ. You know what he said? See, Christ was in the ark of the covenant. He was Aaron's rod that budded. See, that already is a miracle that's already in front of me. Because how can a stick only God can bring a beautiful thing out of something that's seemingly dead and ugly. I still see that wall. Here we go again. We're going to walk around it another day. Another day. Y'all notice it? I've been around this thing 5 times. Anybody notice that crack? I didn't ever see that crack. Did anybody else see it? Maybe it's just my imagination. I want something to happen so bad. Another day is still standing. Still there. But by now, you know what? It's doing I'm kind of enjoying getting up every morning. Because what I've seen is the enemy looking over and jumping back. Because God put a word in their camp 40 years before I got here. You mean to tell me that the thing that I've been afraid of me for over 40 years? The reason I know is because that's what Rahab testified of. She said, we already heard what your God did to the Egyptians. We already heard. And we have been fearful for 40 years that these walls wouldn't going to keep you out. Can I just pause and tell you a little bit something about Rahab? Rahab decided when she met the spies, she said, I know I'm behind the wall, but it would be better to be under the blood. Right. She said, I know I'm behind this wall, but you got to give me something. That when your God brings you all into this place that I and my family, they said he gave her a scarlet thread. And if you follow scripture, you'll know that that's the color of the blood. It's the scarlet blood of Jesus. Your witness is going to cause folks that's been trapped behind those walls to want to come under the blood. I know you look a little silly right now just walking. But let's walk another couple of days. You walked and you walked day in and day out. Now here are the instructions. The instructions to them were, when you go around that last day, when you go around that day when the wall looked like it's been looking ever since you've been walking around. Some of us don't wait long enough. Some of us give up too soon. Some of us God has given you a 6-day promise, and you was a 4th-day quitter. God still wants his 2 days. He said, I'm the Lord and I change not. He said, my word shall not return unto me void. Some of you are closer to your wall coming down than you know. You just owe God 2 more days. You owe him 2 more days. Because you quit on that 4th day. God said he hadn't changed his mind about you. He said, because the gifts and the callings of God are without repentance. I didn't change my mind about you getting your blessing. I still intend. It's only been delayed because of your disobedience. He didn't deny you. He didn't change his mind about you. Some of y'all been particle sonish. The daddy never fired the son. The son fired the daddy. know how I know he wasn't fired? He kept clothes in his size in the closet. Kept a ring sitting up on the bureau. Kept his shoe size in the closet, in the shoe rack. Never changed his mind about the son. It's just that his son became disobedient. He said, I am going to go and tell my father. I don't need to be his son. Just let me be a dog at your house. Just let me be one of the dogs, and it'll be just good with me, because hanging out with these hogs, it ain't working for me. Some of you can tell when you've been hanging out with the hogs. Go over your closet and get a whiff of what hit you mentally. You know when you've been hanging out with the hogs, because you end up in a lot of drama. You know when you've been hanging out with the hogs, you end up in a lot of mess. You know when you've been hanging out with the hogs, you have become a gossiper. Throwing rocks and hiding your hands. But the children of Israel, they walked, and on that last day, God said, now I want you to bark. I want you to shout. And when they shouted in unison, when they shouted united. See, in order to shout together, it means we put a lot of isms and schisms behind us. All the cliques are gone. See, God walked the cliques out of us. That's why he took you on that journey. The wall could have failed the first day. Some of your tests and your trials could have been over the first day, but you wouldn't have the same appreciation for God. You would be worried about where you are in line. But nobody that day was worried about where they were in line. Because guess what? The walls fell down all around. If we get to the point to where we want the walls to fall for our neighbor, like we want them to fall for ourselves. Imagine the one accordness that we would be on. The day of Pentecost didn't happen until they got on one accord. Then the walls of the cares of this world came tumbling down. The world thought they was drunk. The world thought that they were crazy, but they were just being obedient to God. Saints, I want to encourage you today. We're just going to call this crossing over. We're crossing over. We're crossing over into 2019. In order to cross, it means you've got to be willing to do something different. You say, well, the Jordan is, we could have picked a better time to do what we're doing. The Jordan is overflowing its banks, which means that it's more difficult to cross now than what it would have been at another time of the year. God is not a God that wants to do something easy in your life. You can do easy, but is there anything? Is there anything that's too hard for God? Is there anything? Is there anything? You said, Pastor, you don't know the wall in my life. Is there anything? You don't know how the Jordan, I walked up to it and it was so muddy and it was so splashing out of its banks that where it got on my feet and I withdrew myself because I thought I would drown. Is there anything? Do you think God brought you out of Egypt on dry land to let you drown in the Jordan? Do you think he took out Pharaoh and his army to let a few fish in the Jordan take you out? not so. This is the crossover into 2019. I want you to hold on to that message that I was going to preach today, that I studied and availed myself to and did like what Paul told Timothy. Study to show thyself approved. But I found out something about God. He knows exactly what to give you, when to give it to you, and how to lead the heart. This is going to change somebody's life. Somebody's life is going to be different because you're going to realize, I just owe God a couple of more days on that wall, walking around that wall. Somebody's going to realize I'm not going to drown in the Jordan. Somebody's going to realize God has already fought this battle ahead of me. You're crossing over. There may be someone in here today, God has laid it on your heart to serve him the rest of your life. To give your life wholly over to him. I want to encourage you today to come. Somebody may have been holding on to something in their wilderness. And you say, God, I need your strength to take the wilderness out of me. If that's you, meet us at the altar. Get ready to cross over. You don't want the same you in 2019 that was the you in 2018. If that's you today, you can come and say, God, it's me. I need you to do something in my life because I refuse. I refuse to be the same me. I refuse. I refuse to continue to let the wilderness be the backdrop behind me and to be that I see in front of me. I'm getting ready to put the wilderness in my rear view. And I'm getting ready to see the promises that God has made. And not only that, to behold them, but to handle the promises of God. How many of y'all know it's one thing to go by the Cadillac dealership and just look over the alley? But it's another thing to roll up into the lot, test drive, and decide if you want it or not, because you're able. See, my God is